Right, welcome back to the Dreamhack Online Invitationals for Dota 2. We're in the middle of Empire versus Team Dignitas. Empire took the first game, they're up 1-0. A very nice game from Empire as well. I mean, Scandal played that brilliantly. It's like when you looked at the lineup from Team Dignitas, it was really the TA that was the front line kind of damage dealer. But at the same time, Scandal just had so much with the mech, as well as the Shiva. He had more armor than a Roman Empire. That works, right?
That
Bruno would probably know.
They have,
yeah.
A Roman warrior.
No, a whole
No,
empire.
it's Empire.
The whole empire?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Empire, get it?
We're
Empire,
really good.
and they're
Team
called
Empire,
Empire.
Roman Empire.
Off the top of my head, work with me, Scriff. God damn it, keep up. We're going into game number 2. I think we're ready to start the game here because
let's do
they
this.
really want to go.
Yeah.
So, Bruno, while we load up, anything that you want to mention with your sidekick, Scriff?
We're going to talk a bit about stats, as usual. So, getting into the smoke and talking about the team stats from Team Dignitas. Of course, Team Dignitas, they started with different roster. They were with Tides of Time instead of sneaking. Not only did they change that, but they also changed the roles. That's why Fox now plays support and sneaking back to the needed position. Dignitas is a team that loves to play the Tiny, 5-0 in the last 3 months with that hero. Klings as well, 3-0. An Earthshaker, of course. They're really good against some, blue heroes on Lina. I don't know. Night Stalker, Vengeful Spirit, that now has a new portrait, but whatever. And Lina, oh look at that, they never lose. That's really interesting. Worst heroes, what can't they play? Ancient Apparition, but who cares because no one picks that hero anymore.
Yeah,
It's really cool, but yeah, Queen of Pain, but that might have to do with Fog because sneaking plays a really good Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
I might see that as well.
Fuck
Windrunner
you,
2 and 4. And finally, Worst Against, and none of these heroes was in the last match. I mean, they were playing Gyrocopter, but that was Dignitas playing Gyrocopter.
Yeah.
Anyways, if Empire ends up picking Gyrocopter, they have a very, very good chance of winning against Dignitas. And that's
It's really
why.
interesting to me, the Earthshaker.
The Earthshaker,
3-0.
yeah. I mean, it's an interesting
yeah.
hero. Maybe some people are not expecting it. Maybe they're good at giving them some farm so they can get Blink Dagger.
Yep.
And now we wrap up the team information and the stats, and we go straight to the game. Draskill, James, your call.
Thanks, Bruno.
You're welcome.
That was nice. I liked that.
Yeah, it was very polite, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I actually felt like he cared about me when he made that transition. You know, he mentioned me.
And because he cared about you, and we're associated, cared about me.
Care by association. Of course, we are going to get ourselves inside the draft. It's game 2 of Team Empire versus Dignitas, and we can already see that Dignitas have no intention of giving Scandal his Darkseer 2 games in a row. They're going to go ahead and ban that out, and Empire so far have banned out the Lone Druid. So for the second game, of course, Dignitas are going to be playing on Radiant side, and the servers have changed, so it's going to be US East for the second game. First game was Lux, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, of course, the way the servers work here is it's going to be 1-1, and then a coin flip to decide the third game if there happens to be one. But I got to say, Dignitas, in the first game, I just never really felt like they had momentum, like at any point.
Yeah, they certainly just were so far behind in trying to catch up. And they had some good fights. As we mentioned, the skirmishes. The skirmishes are really when they could make something happen. But the team fight potential, when it was a 5v5, was all about Team Empire. So, yeah, as we get into the bans and drafts, just want to mention, by the way, if you like what we do here for Dota 2, you're more than welcome to follow the stream. There's a little button that says follow. If you want to see more content and control what the Good Studio do with their lives, you're more than welcome to subscribe. I think it's $5 a month, and we actually use some of the resources from subscribing. Well, pretty much all the resources from our subscribers go into helping us buy boards and make magnets, and
We need food. Please give us money.
so Drask was not that bad. God damn it. Okay. Send tangos. No, but yeah, more than welcome to subscribe. We do a lot more content than just Dota 2, but we are actually very well set up to do more Dota 2 in the future. So this is something that we're doing with Dreamhack. Hopefully we'll be able to bring back some show matches, maybe do some other tournaments, maybe even host some of other people's tournaments. But, you know, it does help if you subscribe. So I've finished begging now. We'll go back to the game. Andy, who hasn't eaten in 2 days, how's it going?
Well, I haven't eaten 2 days, so it's not going that good, but I am excited to cast the second game between these two teams. I mean, to see a Bat Rider and a Keeper of the Light picked up here by Empire, and it's interesting to me that Dignitas decided to go with the Wisp straight away, because Empire are a team who are very experienced against it and experienced with it, so it's very similar to the situation and playing something like that against Fnatic. Sure, Fnatic don't have such a great track record against it, but at the very least, they understand the play style. So Empire had no intention of taking away the CK. They don't care about the Sven or anything else. They get the Batrider for potentially that pick power. Of course, you get the Lasso and the Blink Dagger, and then, of course, you have your Keeper of the Light, who's just nothing but stability in your laning phase. So Dignitas actually taking their time here. They're going to be eating into their bonus time in about 10 seconds or so. But
Bruno, I promise I'll pick a hero soon, and you can put Sexy Bambo down. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Bruno. Rascal, he's lowering the professionalism of the cast. Okay, so Tiny Wisp. Pretty amazing combo. We've seen Owie 2000 play that Tiny, and last time I think we saw Team Dignitas on the Tiny, it was maybe versus Fnatic, and they let it free farm.
Yeah.
And there was a very early Ags, and there was a very early GG from Fnatic, you could say. So Tiny Wisp combo being picked up. You've got your Queen of Pain in there as well for Team Empire. They're going to finish off their first round of picks with a Gyrocopter to accompany their Batrider and Keeper of the Light. Andy, break it down.
So Team
I love saying
Dignitas,
break it down, by the way.
break it down. So Dignitas right now, they got the Tiny, like you said, Owie. They're 5-0 with it, by the way. So they're definitely doing very, very well with that pick. And this situation, you see the Keeper of the Light, you see the Gyrocopter. Sure, Empire could potentially still put together an aggressive tri-lane, but whenever you see a Keeper of the Light, you expect to see things like maybe a Life Stealer, somebody who can actually line up Illuminates for you, and then an aggressive support like perhaps Alina to be able to stun and add more damage. But so far, if they wanted to do that, they would be able to slow the Tiny's farm a little bit, sure, but we could also be looking at a situation of what we saw Fnatic do earlier today, which is put the Tiny and the Wisp both mid, and then just have the Tiny free farm, because that burst combo actually, in a 2 versus 2, if you toss the Wisp on somebody, all the spirits immediately make contact, and then you get stunned, and then you get tethered and you die.
Well,
so
you've also got Tiny, yeah, sorry, you mentioned Tiny stun.
Yeah,
not the Tether stun. You got the Tether stun, sure, but then Tiny comes in as well, and then there's the damage output. Yeah, it's pretty huge. Do you think that's something the Team Dignitas would consider? Do you think it's risky to put that combo mid? Would you rather prefer, if you're, I mean, they're down a map, man. They've got to win 2 in a row. Do they start playing safe? Go, oh, we'll put it safe lane, quap mid.
It depends on what they feel this Batrider is doing. If it's just going to be a Batrider mid, they could certainly put the Tiny and the Wisp mid. It would be very difficult for the Batrider to get any experience at all, anything necessarily done in that situation. But they can't be sure of it yet until they see the last 2 picks. So I think their laning phase for Dignitas can shift at a moment's notice if they need it to. And of course, Empires can as well. Both of these teams actually have some flexibility. Empire probably a little bit more actually than what Dignitas has. But whenever you see a Wisp, 2 things are important. You don't want to lane against anything necessarily, unless it's that dual mid like we were talking about. And you don't want to necessarily put him in a full-fledged tri-lane, because that stunts his experience even more. You want to get 6 like as soon as you possibly can. And because they picked the Queen of Pain, you have to imagine they're going to be at least somewhat aggressive during this mid-game.
All right, well, we'll see what will happen. And Bruno's already putting up some of the icons on the Dota board. This Dota board is going to the international, I'm sure.
Yes.
Valve are gonna buy its own seat, first class. Fly it over.
I'm not even getting first class.
What?
Oh, what?
I don't think we're even going to the international.
Really?
Andy. Calm down.
It's unfortunate the camera wasn't on
We're
me.
sending you
That
to
was the saddest moment.
Freaks for You Gaming. We'll be
man.
commentating with Toby.
Shots fired. Anyway, so 4th pick coming out here for
Hi,
Dignitas.
I told
And of course, Empire need to more themselves. I'm trying to salvage this situation as best I can. You're not helping me, James. But regardless, Dignitas is still looking for a support. They're still looking for potentially an offlaner, and there is going to be their secondary support in the Earthshaker. So interesting that they decided to go with that.
Was it Team Dignitas that have 3-0 on the Earthshaker?
Yeah.
And they're also 5-0 with Tiny.
Oh my
God!
god!
I
GG
think,
already.
I think they're stream sniping the pre-show.
Yeah.
And they're looking at the stats.
I mean, Fly watched the in-between show.
Yeah.
And he was looking at what I said, and he was like, this guy, he knows what he's on about. And so, yeah, but Earthshaker, Team Dignitas, using Bruno as their secret coach. But Earthshaker's coming to his own. A lot of people really do favor just the disruption of that range stun.
Yeah.
It really, really can. I mean, it's quite dangerous sometimes, because we've actually seen it block off teammates and some, odd, call them awkward situations created. But we're seeing. But the Earthshaker being picked up, I think that's very good. And also, you got to think Tiny Could throw a nice Earthshaker in for an Echo Slam. That's always a possibility.
The flying dunk, man.
Yeah, the flying dunk. But Clockwork's been picked up by Empire. And we got last pick now for Team Dignitas. Looking for another support.
The Clockwork pick for me is nice here by Empire. It synergizes nicely with their lineup. Of course, it's easier to land Illuminates. With the cogs, easier to land your call down, of course, and if you isolate anybody with the Bat Rider, you can cog them in after the lasso, and then good luck ever getting back to your team. So their counter initiation with the Clockwork and the Bat Rider is actually quite nice too, so they have methods of dealing with the Wisp, being able to teleport all over the map. Dignitas, on the other hand, they're going to stick to more of a global style and picking up the Nature's Prophet, so probably going to see way too on that for the second game in a row. And as well as he played last game, he's going to need to play just as well here in game number 2, because it's very difficult, actually, to do any kind of split pushing against the kind of lineup that Empire has. Of course, they are still looking potentially for one more. We're still not actually 100% if that's going to be a Bat Rider mid just yet.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you can look at the preview screen if you'd like to see what Bruno is doing. But yeah, I agree with Bruno. The Furion potentially more leaning towards jungle, but I think offlane could be a decent place to start. But I think people like to get some levels at least by picking up the small camp. And also, with Wisp, if they want to, they can clear some of... wait, what side are they playing?
They're Radiant. Dignitas are Radiant.
Yeah, so they can clear the trees around the small camp. That was a big factor in the game with Fnatic and Cupid Red Pandas, because Fnatic were able to do that with CK and Wisp mid. So we'll see. We'll see what Team Dignitas are going to do. But do you favour anyone's lineup? I'm actually looking at Team Dignitas to be the team that I look at their lineup and I'm like, yeah, this makes more sense with their kind of play style. They have a bit of everything. Aui's got a good carry. Fog's probably on his Queen of Pain, which is a big plus. And Nature's Prophet, they always get something good going with Nature's Prophet.
Looks like it's going to be a Storm Spade here, picked up by Blow Your Brains. So I don't know if they necessarily want to put that Storm mid against a Queen of Pain. That's actually a pretty easy time for Queen of Pain last time I checked. So yeah, it's more likely just to be Vigos mid on that Bat Rider. But I do think that Dignitas have a better late game lineup, because not only are you going to have Aoi getting farm, but there's a good chance Wei2 is going to have a significant portion of items himself. He's another hero who could potentially get a Hex. Then you have Queen of Pain. And honestly, Bat Rider versus Queen of Pain mid, Queen of Pain doesn't really lose that. I mean, it doesn't really go one huge way, one or the other, but at the very least, she's able to remain in the lane and get a good amount of CS on her own, so she's not really pressured too hard by a Bat Rider.
Be interesting to see what Empire do.
Yeah.
Definitely. Looks like Silent, yeah, he's picked up, well, been given plenty of wards, so looks like he will be going off lane. Blow Your Brain also just kind of heading down there for the moment as well. Vigos looked like he's going mid, and it could actually be an offensive tri-lane. And this is something that Empire do really, really well. Not sure if this is going to be something that they hold on to, but this is a possibility. Empire are one of the teams that, from talking to some of the other pro teams, are one of the best, at least at their offensive tri-lanes, it seems. So, not sure if it's going to be the case, probably not, but...
It would be one of the more unorthodox offensive tri-lanes I think I've ever seen. I mean, between a Storm, a Clockwork, and a Keeper of the Light, sure, you'll definitely be able to land your Illuminates. No question about that. You can get some points into Electric Vortex early on, and Overload is pretty nice, but Storm is a hero who needs levels. So putting him in a tri-lane, at least in the aggressive position, means that your supports aren't going to be pulling for you, which means you're actually going to be getting less overall EXP. So we'll see how it works out for Empire right now. And it seems like they're going to be up against an Earthshaker and Universe, who is taking up the reins on Prophet this game. So it's not going to be Wei2. He's actually going to be soloing here. Well, not soloing, but getting supported here in the bottom lane by Wei2.
Yeah, and Snaking's going to be playing the Queen of Pain mid. Fogged actually on the Wisp. And it is going to be an aggressive tri-lane, something that Empire, yeah, as we mentioned, are very, very good at. Not sure how Scandal's going to feel about playing this Gyrocopter versus a Wisp and Tiny on his safe lane. But also same with Universe playing his Nature's Prophet on their safe lane. But he has got way too sexy to kind of back him up on the Earthshaker.
Well, the two key things here for Dignitas are, one, how much can they actually get out of bottom lane? Yeah, middle, we can see sneaking. Doesn't have blink. Ooh. Oh, misses the cogs on Silent. That could have potentially been a kill right there, but he's going to be making his way top. No real way around it. He has to try to help out Scandal. Scandal needs to get some semblance of farm. So I guess Clockwork, Gyrocopter, the synergy is going to be there. Fog taking quite a bit of damage from the Rocket Barrage, but going to be able to tether back to Aoi 2000. So again, it's basically about the mids for Dignitas. Can the Queen of Pain do a decent job here middle? Right now, she's actually losing just a little bit to Vigas, but of course it is only 1 minute and 20 seconds in. And then bottom, how much can Universe contribute on this profit?
Yeah, I think Blow Your Brain's going to get the best out of this, but even just some nice harass damage there with the right click and also the tree ends onto Blow Your Brain. And here comes the Earthshaker stun. Won't be able to do anything more from this. And you got to think Sprout would be pretty handy. 3 seconds the duration just for level 1 and can hold. Well, I wouldn't be able to hold it. Sorry, Tango's up on the Storm Spirit, but still would force him to have to eat a Tango. That costs a lot. You know, it's like 30 something gold. So he's gonna have to eat a Tango.
He's following advice, man. James, now Dota 2 coach for the Good Studios. If you guys want to contact him, I can give you a Skype, and you guys can just get on your way to competitive games. There you go.
True. I mean, a lot of people have probably played with me. Just, you know, I secretly play. I don't tell you my nickname, but you've never lost if you played with me. I promise.
Well, top lane, ever since the transition of this Clockwork, life has been a little bit harder for Aoi. Of course, he is still farming quite well for himself, and he's decided to go for boots first, so he's probably going to go into his patented treads directly into Aghanim's build. He loves to do that, and he even gets it most of the time before he's even level 11. So he's got the 2-hand tree. Can't even hold it with 1 hand. With level 1 Girl, you need level 11, so we'll see how much farm he can actually get here. And like you were saying, Blow Your Brain definitely getting the better of this bottom lane. Universe really not able to farm so much at all. He's only sitting at 5 and 2 compared with Blow Your Brain, who's leading the charts right now at 13 and 2.
Yeah, very nice to have a Kotl, Keeper of the Light, to actually back you up when you're a Storm Spirit. And I don't think the kill potential of Universe and also Way Too Sexy is too huge. It only really becomes big if he's unable to eat out of Sprout. But still, the Illuminate damage could turn the fight around as well.
Yeah, top lane, Scandal managed to get the kill there on Fog.
Did you see that, Griff? You didn't see it.
Just completely stuck inside the cogs right there. Aoi going to be forced back, so Empire put a quick one on the board here. And, I mean, starting off with the first blood like that, especially in that lane, that's the best possible start for Empire because it's the Wisp and the Tiny, the 2 heroes that you fear the most during the mid game. So now even more emphasis being put on middle for Dignitas. They absolutely need sneaking to do well here, and at the moment he isn't doing too bad for himself. He needs to be careful. He's got 5 napalm stacks. Going to be forced back here by Vigas, and he'll be fine for the moment. So a kill on the board for Empire in a situation where we thought Dignitas lanes were going to be working quite well for them. I think Empire are going to be happy with that.
Yeah, nice rotation round. But Scandal can take quite a bit of damage up top. Fogged might get the worst of it now. He should be able to back away. Yeah, he's got Tether available, so just going to eat this rocket and then be done with it. Across bottom. They look like they were pinging on Blow Your Brain, playing the Storm Spirit, but decided not to go for it. Blow Your Brain actually gets given tangos from Goblak. He's like, I will keep you safe from Sprouts. But looking at mid lane as well, we could maybe jump back to that. How do you see this going? Snaking versus Vigos, looking at the last hits and denies. And
well, like I was saying earlier, a Queen of Pain in terms of last hitting versus a Batrider, she'll get her farm. There's not really much a Batrider is going to be able to do about it unless he plays like super over aggressive and ends up diving a tower or something silly like that. So I do give a slight advantage to Queen of Pain, but the impact of the Batrider here might be a little bit more important than what the Queen of Pain brings. Sure, the Queen of Pain's going to have to perform as well because, of course, top isn't going well, bottom isn't going well. His lane is actually the only one right now that's winning, so there's a lot of emphasis on him, but sneaking shouldn't really have any issues getting up his core items here.
Well, he's got to be bringing back a bottle and his boots. Haven't seen who's been controlling the runes recently, but you'd imagine that it's going to be Queen of Pain.
Yeah, he got the 4-minute rune. It was a double damage, and I believe he got the previous one as well. So it's a lot easier because, yeah, the blink, able to get in position. He actually got his boots a bit late, but he's been sitting on a very, very large wand charge. He actually just expended it recently. And you can see Vigas, man, he is feeling some pressure here. And he's also opted to go for a very strange build. He's got 3 points of the Flame Break, not so many into sticky napalm, so that says to me that as soon as he's able to get up a couple more levels, he wants to just try to fight straight away.
Vigos has pretty much been just bottle crowing the whole game, but let's go to bottom as we are actually going to see Blow Your Brain drop. Snaking was the TP down. Goblak is just going to have to back off. Literally with his tail between his legs.
Radiant's middle
As I was
tower
referring
is
to the
under
horse.
attack.
Makes sense.
It was a pretty necessary kill for Dignitas. They needed to try to relieve some lanes, so very nice move of sneaking to teleport to the lane where you know the heroes are going to be closer to your side of the map. It would have been okay, I guess, to try to get a kill on Scandal in the top lane because, of course, they have the Wisp that you can just toss in and get the free tether stun. But I think it's more important to allow Universe to get something done because he is likely going to be the one who's going to be forced to buy the mech. Fog just has nothing right now, so you want to try to get your mech carrier a little bit of relief. He is opting to get a glove of haste, excuse me, at the moment to try to go for a Midas perhaps, but the more farm the Universe can get in the early game, the faster it's going to accelerate his mid game.
We should also point out, in the current state of things, Empire looking really good on their levels up top, but actually Team Dignitas across the bottom half of the map with their Earthshaker and Universe looking really, really strong. Storm Spirit's actually just only recently got level 5, he's a little bit into it now. But Universe on his way to level 6, that Earthshaker 4.5, almost level 5. So, still feels like it's going in favor of Empire in terms of how their lanes overall.
Well,
Despite
Empire
dropping their bottom Blow Your Brain.
all middle lane, Vigas solo, Shadow Strike just wears off. It's not going to go down. Here comes the hook shot though. Sneaking doesn't have his blink up for another 2 seconds. Can they manage to get the lasso one time? The Scream of Pain almost kills both of them. In comes Universe, and the Flame Break is going to knock him back, but Sneaking doesn't get hit by it. It only hits Universe, so he doesn't actually get the damage off, and another kill going the way of Dignitas. Very, very nicely done right there by Universe. Teleporting in at the nick of time. Just that couple of auto attacks helped out significantly, but Vigas, crucial Flame Break, not hitting Sneaking there.
And that was a level 3 Flame Break. We talked about it earlier. It's 225 damage. That would have certainly been a kill onto Snaking, and exactly what Empire wanted. But they are going to bring down Silent once again. They will be able to defend this tier 1. And across bottom, Blow Your Brain hits level 6. Going to open up onto Snaking. Gets given a little bit of mana from Godblack, but won't be able to chase, and doesn't want to chase the Queen of Pain, as he has enough mana for his ultimate and also double damage. So they're still trying to make something happen down here. I don't think they will be able to. Snaking will be able to just
be
jump
careful.
away. He could actually just kill Silent. He is going to throw the ulti. And Team Dignitas currently 2 kills with no reply. Looking pretty good. Aui's farm pretty okay top. I wouldn't say absolutely amazing. He's currently 30 last hits. He's lost his support once. What's going to be the big factor going into the mid game here?
Well, as soon as Fog hits 6, I mean, he just hit 5, so you always have to consider that whenever you're playing against a team who has a Wisp. It's a bit dangerous, actually, to teleport onto heroes like Gyrocopter, especially because he's got level 4 Rocket Barrage and Call Down. The turnaround damage from Scandal is actually going to be pretty significant. Plus, he's opted to go for the Bracer and the Tread, so he's got quite a bit of health. He probably still won't be able to live. And oh, bottom lane, speaking of not being able to live, way too, trying to get a Fissure off, but he's getting battery assaulted over and over. Simply can't do it. Sprout inside the cogs, perhaps to try to knock way too out. Unfortunately, not going to work. Blinding Light does come off. Stun going to be off the mark, but unfortunately Silent completely trapped in here. Going to get Sneaking tossed on him as well, and eventually just going to drop. So another kill going the way of Dignitas. They lose a support, end up killing a support of their own. So all in all, Dignitas still looking pretty good during this early game, but we still haven't really felt the presence of Blow Your Brain either. He is level 6. His farm is actually the highest in terms of overall CS, so I would expect him to be going for that quick Orchid and potentially start looking for some solo kills.
Yeah, but he's also pretty low level, just because he had to play on that dual lane. Like, he's picking a fight here with Snaking. Snaking's level 9. He's going to be able to put out a lot of damage very fast against a level 6 Storm Spirit, despite just having a Null's Talisman. Actually, Blow Your Brain actually has a little bit more items to his name. And the Flame Break comes out, but Snaking will be able to get away. But yeah, we haven't felt the presence of Blow Your Brain. He's farmed well, but he's pretty low on the levels, you have to say. So, not sure how much of he's going to be able to impact the game. And, it's I can see why the Storm Spirit is going to be very useful later. It's kind of nice to be able to react quickly to that kind of tiny Wisp TP if they decide to want to move around the map.
Middle lane. Vigos gonna get Shadow Struck here after the Scream of Pain comes off. Rocket coming in. Looks like Silent wants to go in on way too sexy. He does get the Battery Assault off. Fissure just simply cannot cast in here. He just gets the Echo off instead. Tries to get the Enchant Totem. Is he gonna get it? No, he wants! Beautiful Sprout coming out of Universe in the back of the fight. Looks like Sneaking managed to pick off Vigos in the river, and we're gonna see a double kill coming after Sneaking. What a Sprout coming out of Universe right there. Saving way too's life, pretty much for sure.
Dignitas just getting all the fights going their way. And they haven't still, as we've mentioned, involved Aoi 2000 and also Fogged. So Snaking's been involved in a lot of them. He's doing great. Looking at levels, he's level 10. The next highest level to Snaking is the Furion, who's level 8.
Is he going to try to pull anybody in, or is he just going to end up dying here to Fog? Here comes Blow Your Brain, going to go on Fog right here. The Nature's Prophet ultimate will end up picking off Gobblack, but now Blow Your Brain does not manage actually to dodge the Scream with his Ball Lightning, but he will secure the kill on Fog as he ends up dropping to pretty much the entirety of the remaining members of Dignitas, as there are 4 of them right now in the bottom lane. So, I mean, Empire just seemingly taking these small skirmishes that they're really not particularly ready to fight.
Yeah, but you also have to think, while these skirmishes are going on, they are trading, but what's quite important is Scandal. Scandal is able to start farming.
Yeah.
He's had a pretty easy time up here. We'll just check Wisp. Wisp is currently level 6. Scandal might not have such an easy time later. We'll see if he's going to go for what his first item might be. Maybe it will be a Shadow Blade. A lot of people have been picking that up.
Shadow Blade is very common, but it's also very counterable, and because of the fact that they have a Wisp, they are going to be teleporting on Scandal in the top lane. Can he get away? He does get the Rocket Barrage off, but unfortunately no call down, and he is going to just disintegrate under the burst damage. Sneaking in the meantime manages to kill on middle lane, and Vigos ends up dropping again. So honestly, if Scandal had call down for that Wisp teleport, he actually probably would have killed one of them.
Yeah, he used it earlier just to clear the creep wave, and the mid-fight, just to kind of recap that as you were watching top, Universe was, obviously TP'd in on the Furion, and with the help of Snaking, who's very, very high level in terms of it, and also his damage output, looking really good. They were able to pick up a nice kill. So trading back and forth, losing the Gyrocopter Dignitas, but at least trading, I believe, getting the Earthshaker.
I have a lot of concerns right now for Empire in that they're losing too much during the laning phase. If you look at Empire's team, they definitely have good counter initiation. They have good initiation themselves. Gobblack mid, gonna get bursted down by Queen of Pain. He is level 12 right now. That is insane.
3 levels above the next highest level, which are both on his team. Actually, Gyro and Storm are both level 9 as well, but Snaking's just been involved in these little fights everywhere, and that's just, it's Queen of Pain. The mobility of that hero around the map is great, but he's been playing fantastically. I think, like, Vigos is going to be kicking himself for missing the flame break on him a little bit earlier. It looks like we had a TP. No, do we have a TP? No, we didn't have a TP down bottom.
They just almost caught out Vigos right there, but fortunately he's able to get away because of the Firefly, used that cliff walking and whatnot. Very, very useful to get out of sticky situations, but they might just try to go on this poor little Clockwork. Here comes the Universe, and that's going to be a toss range creep right on top of him. The hook shot actually, I think, hit the range creep in midair, and now Silent going to be dropping again. Blow Your Brain here now with Vigos. Are they going to be able to get Universe in time? Sneaking, blinks into the river, goes straight for Vigos. Blow Your Brain basically just retreating way too with a one-man Echo Slam, gets tossed, misses on the enchant, but Gobblack's going to go down anyway and give Aoi 2000 the kill. Sneaking, blinking behind the tower, also managed to pick off Vigos, now taking quite a bit of damage from the Rocket Barrage of Scandal, but there's just really nothing he can do. I mean, they're just taking really, really poor engagements. There's no other way to say it.
I don't think, Empire are really ready to fight. If you just look at the sheer amount of burst damage that comes out of Team Dignitas, with Tiny in the stun, Snaking, with Scream, sure, you've got an Echo Slam, but you're just really looking at the Fissure, which is level 4. They are able to just do a huge amount of damage to pretty much anybody, and you had the Clockwork to kind of disrupt the fights, and you said you liked the pickup of Clockwork, but all the other heroes are pretty much left
Vigos, bad timing, man. Right back into Sneaking and Aoi and Fog, who just get back. Now Silent could be dropping again here too. Sneaking, blinking on the other side of the cogs. Oh, man, the toss back in. Aoi taking quite a bit of damage, though, from the call down. Rocket Barrage is used. Gobblack will be able to eventually kill Fog. As Vigos dies once again, Hookshot's actually going to miss and give a monster kill to Sneaking Blinks into the tier 2 and also picks off Godblack. Scandal, though, able to kill Universe on the right-hand side in the woods, and the Sonic Wave just comes off cooldown, and he will seal Scandal before the Rocket Barrage is able to eat him away. I mean, he's just everywhere, man. He's involved in almost every single one of his team's kills right now. He is 10-0-5 in a 16-minute game.
Can we look at Vigos as well and just kind of say he hasn't really contributed on his Batrider at all. He was mid. He's got some levels, but he's not really that high at all. He's
6 levels behind Sneaking.
Yeah, he's so far behind and nowhere near the Blink Dagger. He's not able to initiate. He's not able to stay in fights long at all, as Snaking was. We saw the fights before. Snaking was just chasing down Vigos. It was like, okay, you are my target of choice. He's got 1,000 gold Vigos. He's so far away from his Blink Dagger, and it might just be too late, because I'm sure Team Dignitas feel really, really good to start pushing the tier 2 towers.
Well, I just want to put this in perspective for everyone right now. If you look at the net worth, Sneaking has 8,500. The Batrider has less than 3,000. Less than 3,000. He is almost tripling what Vigos actually has in terms of overall income. So you talked about how he's not close to his Blink. Sneaking has a full Orchid and 2,000 gold.
Yeah, but it was so funny because, okay, yeah, we say that the Quap's going to do well mid lane, but Vigos was actually keeping up with last hits until that double damage rune came in.
Yeah.
Once that DD rune came in, Snaking got 10 ahead, but it was after that is when it just went sour with the skirmish fights, bot lane, you know, where Snaking was always involved, and just a huge amount of damage when you've got all that XP and all that, you know, damage on that one hero in those team fights. Just destroyed, and then just from those kills, just came back and was a lot stronger. And Vigos is now just off in the jungle. Well, he was moments ago, just trying to get some gold. But I don't think Dignitas are going to let Empire breathe in this game. They're not going to let them get the farm that they need.
There's pretty much no way that they're going to get any room at all. And I actually thought that Universe would go for the mech, but he's actually not. I mean, Fog doesn't have really anything to speak of. He's got 12 CS and a couple of kills, but he's pretty broke at the moment. And if he wants to go for the mech, he's probably still going to do that. But the rest of the team is just doing so well that it doesn't even necessarily matter. Like, these small engagements that Dignitas keep taking always go in their favor. They have such good mobility between the Wisp Teleport, the Prophet, the Queen of Pain. All of their heroes can get around quite well. And the only one who really can't right now is Way2 on the Earthshaker. But he's actually level 9 on his support Earthshaker right now. And almost...
It's the same level as the Batrider.
Yeah,
he's mid.
Yeah.
So... The only thing the Dignitas don't necessarily have going for them in a big way is their ward placements are quite defensive. I mean, they control the runes, but they don't allow them to maybe find opportunities on the Empire side of the map. But Team Dignitas still have the tier 1 tower to take top. I expect them most likely to make something happen up at the tier 1 top and then defend tier 1 bottom, which is where Empire seem to kind of be hanging around right now, or at least on the lane. So... if any more fights going Dignitas is in Team Dignitas' way, I think this one's going to be, yeah, their game to... I can't see them losing if they wipe. And here you go, TP top, yep. Vigos.
Not a chance, man.
And the TP's going to be cancelled. Now they're going to take the tower. And Empire aren't in position to even push the tier 1 bottom either. And the tier 1 bottom is very, very low health if we just go down. You can see... they're going to put Blow Your Brain on it, who's probably the only hero that can actually escape from the wrath of Team Dignitas. And he won't be taking the tower either. He's just going to be escaping. But actually, Snaking decides, maybe not as the Orchids, but isn't able to chase, and Blow Your Brain will be able to get out.
Now, Snaking blinks forward, though. He's going to get Vortex in. Blow Your Brain, not that much mana. Here comes a Tether and the toss. Long distance, and here comes a hook shot from Silent. That's Silent 3 heroes, though. Probably not the best idea. The call down, though, makes contact on 3. Wow. Here comes Scandal with the cleanup. Gets a double kill pretty much straight away. Owie going to be dropping as well from the Illuminate coming out of Godblack. Sneaking, though. He wants to line the Sonic Wave and will. Hits all 3. Also kills Godblack way in the back of the fight. What a nice turnaround coming out of Empire. Buyback from Owie. Wants to try to get some kind of revenge here, but Sneaking just doesn't really have that much health to fight. He still blinks back in. Very aggressively, I might add. He doesn't really have anything except for maybe one more blink and a couple of auto attacks with his Orchid. But yeah, We kind of thought that, you know, Silent was being a little bit brave.
I was like, Silent, what are you doing?
We thought he was drunk. Turns out, completely sober.
Yeah, really set that one up very nicely for a Scandal on the gyro. So some well-needed gold. Because Scandal, we mentioned before, when he was farming up top, he's quite easy to pick off with that tiny Wisp if they have vision on him. He's now picked up his Ogre Club, getting a little bit more HP. And Blow Your Brain, despite having some fantastic farm, doesn't really have much net worth anymore as well. So
Empire have only been able to kill one tower right now, and that's the tier 1 top. So it's hurting them a bit in that regard. You can just say Dignitas are flat like 2,000 gold-ish ahead just because of towers, but the majority of it is simply coming from kills and the fact that the skirmishes are all going in their favor. If you look at the experience, that's actually the big problem. I mean, 12,000 experience ahead in a 19.5-minute game? That's ridiculous. I mean, every single one of the heroes on Dignitas benefit greatly from levels to a certain extent. I mean, I guess you could say that Earthshaker maybe falls off a little bit after like level 10 and 11, but still, I mean, it's really nice that they would get so many fights going their way.
It's definitely been the big factor, the levels in the fights that they've had on snaking.
Oh, hook shot on 3. Silent. He goes into a tether, though. He can't get the cog off in time. He gets stunned out. Here comes Universe and sneaking. That's going to be yet another kill for him. And right now he's sitting at 13. Scandal, though, going to be caught out by himself. Here comes the toss from sneaking. He actually gets stunned out. Tries to have the scream. Not going to make contact. Gets it by Flame Break. And Blow Your Brain taking a significant chunk of damage from that Nature's Prophet ulti. And the rest of Empire just going to go ahead and fall back. And in the meantime, Aoi did complete his Aghanim Scepter. But, you know, it's weird because Aoi, he's obviously known as one of the better carry players in North America, but he's just being overshadowed right now by the Queen of Pain's performance. Like, he's still really farmed, but you just look at how well Sneaking's been doing this game, and it's like, it's kind of almost all him.
Yeah, but it is Snaking. It really is all him. He's playing great, but we actually have the Bling Dagger also up on Vigos. This is something that can drastically change the outcome of these kind of team fights, just because if he's able to pick someone off, it's not about necessarily, like, obviously you want to pick someone off, get a lasso and actually kill him quickly, but what you also want, which is why the Clockwork is a great pick, is the Clockwork to come in mid-fight and be able to disrupt the chances of being able to save that person.
Top laner comes the Vortex and the call down, and Aoi is going to go down here, killing spree for Scandal, and that is a very, very important pick, realizing that there was not going to be a teleport because they couldn't see the Wisp.
Universe here as well. Silent just dropped a ward. He's just had vision on Universe, I think, but maybe not as he's backing away.
Vigos blinking in mid. He gets Orchid, though, by Sneaking. Sneaking could be in some trouble here, though, for the first time. Universe is there. No mech going to be on the team, though. Sneaking actually going to go down. The lasso is there, and he will end up getting the kill, but Goblak dies in the process. So does Vigos. Here comes Silent, though, with the hook shot onto Universe. Can he get him in a 1-versus-1 fight, doing so much damage all on his own? The tether from the low ground from Fog and a Fissure to stop Silent pursuing, but Scandal comes in with the cleanup, and suddenly Dignitas lose everyone.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, if Dignitas pick up a couple of good team fights, I can't see him losing, but now they've just given away, you know, what was the big kind of advantage that they had.
Aoi comes in.
Might be able to escape here. He just popped his drums to back away. Aoi unable to pick up the kill. But this is where Empire can actually come back into the game. Vigos can be very dangerous, as we mentioned with the Bat Rider. Blow Your Brain. He hasn't got his Orchid. He's gonna like everyone's gonna have a tough time still versus Snaking. He's got his Orchid. He's gonna be an absolute nuisance. Managing to get the kill on him in that last fight, as Empire did with Vigos, I think picking it up with a Flame Bake was huge. But I'm really looking towards Silent and his Clockwork to be a bit of a team fight changer here. I just got a feeling that Team Dignitas really need to get the initiations on their terms. I also think that maybe Aoi 2000 needs to go for something. I know he's looking for damage, he's got the Aghanim Scepter, but it wouldn't hurt to pick up something that's a little bit more defensive. He's actually gone for a Broadsword first, so is he going to go for that Daedalus again, which he did last time? I remember when he played Tiny, we were like, well, maybe you could go for BKB.
Yeah, he always does this, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
I personally think keeping him in the fights, if they go long, a BKB would be more useful than Crit right now. I think they have a lot of burst damage already. They have higher levels. I just want to see Aoi being able to survive in these fights and not getting picked off on the top lane like he did. Because I can see Silent on that Clockwork really kind of messing up the team fights here for Dignitas.
I agree. I mean, I feel as though Aoi should be probably going for a BKB instead. But at the same time, if he gets hookshot in a fight, and he gets isolated by Cogs. The BKB would help him survive, sure, but it wouldn't help him do damage in the meantime. Pull Your Brain just gets annihilated top by the Orchid. The Wisp teleport. Probably didn't even need to teleport, actually. Sneaking had his ultimate up if he needed to, but just the damage of Sneaking overall and just the sheer dominance that he's had this game is pretty much what's making Dignitas even ahead at this point, because now the team fights are starting to get a little bit scarier. Illuminate's maxed out. If Silent gets good initiation, manages to hit more than one hero with a Cog, that fight it automatically becomes difficult for Dignitas.
Yep, and also the Gyrocopter on Empire, close to BKB. Pretty much got its BKB after the Ancients, and we've seen just Scandal's been a huge factor in the team fights anyway. He's come in at the right times, he's been able to pick people off, but once that BKB's on, it mitigates so much lockdown on him that the Tiny can't do and many others won't be able to do. And I don't think that crit and Aghanim's with the attack speed that Tiny has on Ari 2000 is going to be that scary for the Gyrocopter. So despite Dignitas still having the lead, I feel that Empire could actually still take this 2-0, and Vigos is actually, he's about 800 away from picking up his 4 staff, so some really good key items here for the team of Empire coming up shortly, so their team fight is going to be really good. But here we go, Snake King going to initiate onto Silent, in comes the TP of Wisp and Tiny, there comes the Echo Slam, and Dignitas take a well-deserved kind of team fight there. They've lost at least, wow, quite a lot. As we say, Tiny, I thought they were actually going to come out on top of there. Sorry, I thought that was going to be a quick fight and nothing else is going to happen, but actually Empire fight back.
Scandal's AoE damage is ridiculous. I mean, just level 3 cooldown. Even though he doesn't have any damage in his per se, hold on, bottom lane, Universe does have, of course, that Shadow Blade, so he's going to be able to get out here scotch-free. But all in all, they committed really heavily right there to going on one of the tankier heroes on the side of Empire, which of course is Silent, and they kind of used everything. And plus, Sneaking aggressively blinked in, so he basically said to himself, I need to either get the burst on and get out, which he didn't use his ult, by the way. He just kind of blinked away instead, left the rest of his team out to dry, and everyone pretty much paid dearly for it. And the Echo on 2 people, probably not worth it. I mean, I'm just saying, the BKB from Scandal would have negated the damage anyway, but you commit to a fight like that, and every single person ate a call down, 8 flat cannon. You know, it was just such a nice counter initiation by Scandal.
2 Orchids up now on Team Dignitas. What do you think the reasoning is behind 2 Orchids? One on the Furion and one on Snaking.
Well, it's solely for the Storm Wisp. Yep, Silent going to be in a lot of trouble here. I don't think his team's going to be able to help him this time, but they're certainly going to be making their way there for the moment. But nope, never mind. 2 just dying here for no reason, as Galblack and, of course, Silent going to be dropping here. The rest of Empire going to be forced back into their base. But again, the Orchids, for heroes like Batrider, for heroes like Storm, if they're silenced, there is nothing they can do. I mean, Blow Your Brain relies so much on mobility through the Ball Lightning to be able to get into fights and deal damage. He's not going to be able to do that if he's silenced, of course, and in the meantime, Dignitas able to secure the tier 1 in the bottom lane. So Dignitas, they had a little bit of shakiness, but it seems like they've regained their footing here.
Yeah, and also Ari 2000, to mention, hasn't gone to complete his full Daedalus straight away. He's actually picked up an Ogre Club, so maybe feeling that, yeah, a BKB would be a worthwhile investment before I finish my Daedalus.
Oh, Vigos.
Snake King going to blink in, and he's going to be able to sheet Vigos. He's actually going to be able to get away in this situation. I think he's actually going to die, though, to the Shadow Strike. Storm Spirit just be able to escape here as well. Aoi might be going down in this situation, and he will do so. Fog's going to have a hard time as well, potentially, but in comes Way Too Sexy. Nice Echo Slam to turn things around. Scandal trying to do the best he can in this situation, but will be right-clicked down by 3 members of Dignitas, and they're also going to lose Silent. So a big win there, despite losing Aoi 2000. Fogged on the Wisp. Really nice from Way Too Sexy with the Blink Dagger on his Earthshaker. Double
buyback. Vigos going to get hexed out again. And Orchid, here comes Fogged and Aoi freshly bought out. And Empire just completely wipe off the map here. So Dignitas seemingly in a decent position to take game number 2. Glyph, of course, is on cooldown, and this is an Aghanim's Tiny, so your base not going to last nearly as long as it usually would in this situation. And honestly, Vigos gets caught out twice in a row. Like 2 times. The first time he gets hexed out, the second time he gets hexed inside of the base, gets picked. Sure, probably wouldn't have been able to defend by himself anyway, but his presence this game, I just did not feel it.
Yeah, he's had a really tough time. Just even with, I don't know, his positioning, but yeah, I think he bought back as well.
Blow Your Brain.
For the second
they want to try to go on Aoi. should be able to get this kill here. A call down comes out, and yeah, Aui's definitely not going to be making it home, unfortunately. And he's actually died quite a bit, so Empire still able to make a little bit happen here. But Scandal, he just needs so much to be able to carry this team. He needs pretty much MKB, he needs lifesteal, he needs like everything. And he just doesn't really have the supporting cast that can really carry him to that point. Sure, Keeper of the Light can kind of counter-push quite a bit. They're going to try to sneak a Roshan, immediately get spotted by the Spirits out here of Fogged, and Way2 going for the block. I think Scandal might actually be blocked by that, maybe not though. Here, hookshot go off, it's going to be on Way2, caught all by himself. Fogged with a tether, actually gets knocked back by the Cogs after the fact. Scandal with the BKB, and last one in the meantime, on to Fogged. They want to try to burst him down before he's able to get anyone out of trouble. The teleport was up, but he does die in the meantime. Way2 also very close to death. Scandal picks up the double kill, and here comes the BKB out of sneaking. He's going to try to take down Silent with the help of Universe, and will be successful in doing so. And another full team wipe. Empire just getting dominated here.
Yeah, Dignitas right-click damage across even the Queen of Pain. Just look how much damage the Queen of Pain has.
Yeah, they're just going to call
it's
it GG.
Like the Queen of Pain damage so high. Nature's Prophet on Universe actually came in with, I think, was a fresh BKB that fight, and I don't think they were expecting Universe to have a BKB. Came in, his right click damage huge, and also even though Tiny wasn't really there, it didn't matter so much. So Dignitas will be able to clean this one up, and Empire will now have to go back to the drawing board, play another game on a 1-1 series.
Well, I gotta say, everyone kind of favored Dignitas lineup in terms of what it could actually accomplish, what the late game would be like, but Empire did a really nice job of turtling it out regardless of how bad the early game went for them. Because let's be honest, the early game went really bad. Even if you want to say that Empire's lanes weren't as good or their mid game wasn't as good, I mean, sneaking kind of just rampaged everywhere. He just killed everyone, was always at the proper team fights at the right time. His movement solidified Dignitas' game.
He finished 17-1 with 18 assists. So just super involved, and he's going to be really happy with his performance. Yeah, but as we mentioned, I mean, we've seen Vigos do some great stuff. We've also seen him do some not so great stuff. But his presence on that Batrider.
Yeah, I really.
I mean, I don't know if we like, hey, that was, you know, you didn't play up to your standards. Maybe it was snaking, being able to pick up so many kills. You know, like just getting the XP advantage on other lanes, getting that DD rune, etc., and just being able to destroy. But either way, that Batrider didn't, like, you didn't see a fight where Batrider initiated, got a lasso, and then they, you know, were able to kind of separate that member of Dignitas' team from the rest of their lineup and actually just be able to pick him off. There was nothing like that whatsoever. It was, Vigos was getting initiated on. They had 2 Orchids. They were, I mean, the first time they caught him with a Sheepstick and Orchid, and he actually was looking to get away. I think he died to like Shadow Strike. He bought back.
Got hexed again.
Yeah, it's just like, I really felt that if Vigos was able to do something around the mid-game area and separate some of the Dignitas lineup, Silent really could have come into his own on that Clockwork. And Gyrocopter with the BKB, sure, he doesn't have a huge damage output in terms of just right-click damage, but his general presence and AoE, he could have made something happen, but they just didn't get it going. It was too maybe far to come back from. And I talk a lot, but someone who talks more than me is Bruno.
Of course.
And I don't
that transition, man.
Huh?
That transition.
That's really smooth.
That was.
Yeah.
I just realised I'm talking way too much. I'm really into Dota these days.
Yeah.
I love Dota.
Now you have to play it better.
Huh?
Now you have to play it better.
What
You
do
can
mean
go
play
into
it?
a competitive team.
I'm the best in our team matchmaking, the good studio team matchmaking.
Yeah.
I am the brains. After this show, we can't because weapons.
Trance, do you
Well,
agree?
that's still here, but yeah.
No.
Okay.
We should do another show match with BTS one of the days. It'll be cool.
Whatever.
Anyways, going back to the match, you know what was interesting to me? When I was watching the lanes,
Yeah?
I felt I was watching a pub. Because if you look at the lanes, like how they ended up, it was a dual lane of Tiny Wisp versus a dual lane. Of course, the clock started bottom, but they rotated. There was a dual lane of Gyrocopter Clock. Then you had the 1 versus 1, Queen of Pain, and Batrider mid. And then you had another dual lane with Earthshaker and Nature's Prophet. I mean, you look at this, it's really
The Chinese were shaking their heads.
But the thing is, the thing is, I want to go to a point here, which is that maybe, and this is really interesting, they had this Nature's Prophet, we were talking about how they could manage to find the trial in there. In that case, the Prophet will have to resort to going to the jungle because it will be hard. Maybe they could put their trial in there. And when they got to the bottom lane, they found that instead of finding a tri-lane with gyrocopter, they found the bottom lane cloudy with a chance of storm. Anyways, that was really bad.
That was that was really bad.
Bruno.
It's okay though. I'm sure
Had to
people
try.
loved it.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes
You
it
needed
doesn't.
sunglasses when you did
Yeah,
that.
I needed sunglasses.
have
I
them.
was going to ask someone. I don't know who has sunglasses in this house. But yeah, I mean, in a more serious note, the interesting thing that I really liked about the Storm pick is that when you have heroes like Wisp, which is always behind your main line of fight, and you have heroes like Earthshaker that are always behind because, of course, they don't have the reach, but they do have the Fissure that can actually make the impact. And of course, the Nature's Prophet will always try to TP behind you or like safe in a safe place, not in the middle. It's really interesting to have Bad Rider and Storm because these are both heroes that can jump through the main line, the front line, and just pick off the weaker heroes that you have behind. And without the support, without the Wisp, then suddenly the Tiny is not that threatening. And without the Shaker, you know that you can just jump in without being interrupted. So the core idea was really good. The lanes were weird, but I don't think they lost because of the lanes. I mean, correct me if
I
I'm
don't
wrong.
either. No, I don't think they lost because of the lanes. I think they lost just because Dignitas played better. Like all the fights they took, the decision making was just really nice. Of course, their draft I think was a tiny bit superior, but just because of late game I think was why. And of course, they had a lot of global presence between the Prophet and the Wisp. They were able to take fights whenever they need to, and it felt to me like Empire of all teams should get that. Like they should get that kind of gameplay, and they just got caught out so many times. So yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
The Storm Spirit
Yes.
for Empire,
Yes.
Blow Your Brain, was doing really well bottom, right? It's picking up a lot of farm,
Yes.
but it wasn't doing so well on the levels.
As well as the items.
Yeah, and the
That's what I
items
said.
as well. He didn't have. But like, where do you think Empire could have gone to utilize him better? Because he really was like, I'm the top farmer. I'm Storm Spirit. I'm getting lots of gold. Obviously, there was a couple of fights bottom that he was involved in. I'm not sure if he died in those or got away. But could they have done something with Storm Spirit or other members to be able to kind of put a little bit more emphasis on his impact in the game? Because he didn't have a lot of impact.
Script has something to say.
Yeah, I noticed while watching is his skill build was 3 in Electric Vortex. So he doesn't have the damage to pick someone off solo. You could see a lot of times when they went for the runes, they had small skirmishes, 1v1 skirmishes. And he just didn't have the damage because he had 1 in the Revenant and 1 in the Overload. So yeah, he didn't have the damage even though he was level 6 by that time. So yeah, he couldn't pick anyone off solo.
I agree with that. I also want to add that having a safe lane farming Storm is kind of a death trap. Because yeah, as you said, he was top in CS at one point in the game. But with the Storm, I mean, yeah, you want the farm, you want something, but you shouldn't be farming. You should just try to make things happen as well. And if you're having a really good safe lane, it's very tempting to just say, oh, just one more creep wave, just one more creep wave. I know I'll get this item faster, I can make my impact later. But then the team fight started happening because Dignitas was pressuring a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had a great farm, but no huge impact. On the other hand, the Queen of Pain was all over the place. He did not have the CS, but he did have the kills. At a point was like beyond goal, like before dying even once.
Yeah.
He ended what? 17-1?
17-1.
Yeah, 17-1, 18.
He actually at one point had the highest creep score as well.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show how good sneaking played. He had the top kills and the top.
And probably the
Good
top assist too,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Like he had all of it.
He was in
So,
almost all the kills.
yeah, all in all, a very strong performance for Dignitas. I think we're making a break now and we're going to get
Well, before we take a break, Empire and Team Dignitas obviously going into third and final map.
Yeah.
What happens? Are you flipping a coin? How do we decide things?
For servers, because it's a CIS match and a US West, there's just...
All right. Do you wanna? Have you got a coin?
No, but I have a coaster.
Okay.
flip the
so-
This
Warlord.
seems.
do we decide this, or do we give
Actually,
them the
this is
option?
weighted. I think this is not really fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Do you have something that we can throw up? Like your phone?
I have
How about not my
a bottle cap.
A bottle cap. I don't think that's really
Go
like
change camera.
weighted. But yeah, let's go to James.
I asked Empire if they want heads or tails, so as soon as
What's
They
heads?
reply.
What's heads in
Well, heads is
heads is the
obviously
label side, yeah,
yeah.
and then tails is
and
the.
then tails is. Well, we have coins.
This
No,
is
we don't
more
have
fun.
coins. We're poor.
This is more fun.
So
If only
subscribe.
people would subscribe.
Yeah.
You have a coin.
It's the only one in the house.
Why'd you throw it here and not to me? What is that for a throw?
Jesus.
I need to.
It needs to
And
do
I got my
some...
microphone
How are
on.
you doing?
I'm great. How
Trying
are
to-
you?
Yeah.
I having
good
fun.
as well.
Get
This is
around.
fun, man.
This is
Don't
kind
know.
of like the best cast
Alright,
ever.
Bruno, you're admin ready? I'm going to
Yes.
throw
There
this
we
to
go.
you properly,
Please.
as opposed
Jesus.
to.
Okay.
Okay, well,
so-
Dignitas answered their tails. That means that Empire is heads.
Okay, so I have it here. I'm going to just try to... Just can you hide the Empire versus Dignitas thing? Because people will think I'm cheating.
Okay, wait.
Like,
They both want tails.
Yeah, they both want tails.
Yeah.
We gotta sort this, man. We can't have any more drama like this.
Dignitas.
This can't happen.
Get tails.
Okay? They both want
Empire,
tails. We're gonna sort it
heads.
now.
We flip
yes.
coins.
This is
now.
very, very important.
Good luck, have fun.
What happens if I snag it in
Exciting
midair?
coin flip.
What if it
time.
falls like sideways?
Then we decide.
Actually, this coin can
So
fall
yeah,
sideways.
Dignitas.
Camera back on us,
And they
flip
will
it,
roll.
and then they can
See
choose.
now,
first.
James is the one ruining esports if it comes.
Oh
back.
wait,
Can we just flip the coin and make them decide afterwards?
What? How does that make sense?
Well, they don't know.
They want tails. So
Well-
I did technically tell them to choose.
it's
so.
a fucking coin. It's
No,
50,
man.
50.
Esports is ruined now.
So who's what?
Well,
We need Hellspawn.
I
He's
was.
Yes.
great at flipping coins.
I just said Dignitas are tails, Empire heads.
Okay, period. That's it. So now I'm going to lift it without spinning it. And
I
going
can't
to
even see
the
it.
camera.
No one
with-
can see
No one
that.
can see this.
But it's tails.
Yeah, it's tails.
It's tails. I tried. It's tails. So who had tails?
You know Empire are gonna be like mad now, right?
Yeah, I don't care. Dignitas.
Esports
win,
ruined.
We
coin,
tried.
Flip.
We tried.
Okay.
Hey.
Well,
Okay,
Okay,
so
now we're
it's
going to-
East, of course, for the third game, and we're gonna have a quick break, of course, before we get into the third game. But we've got the server decided and everything else, so we'll be back in a few minutes, guys, with Game 3 between Empire and Dignitas.